I'll tell you, when I shot for Lipstick Under My Burqa.
Yep, of course.
I thought, oh, ab matlab main lead mil gayi hai. Now life is sorted. Abhi there'll be like roles and roles.
I feel India is huge, huge culture, huge people, and we are subtitling those shows, sending it across 190 countries. Oh, there are a lot of people. I think you find your own audience right there.
How I can function better, how I can bring out my best, and yet I know that tomorrow I'll meet yet another director who will help me, understand a little more about what I can do with my crafts.
I'll tell you very honestly. So basically, this is an official Hindi remake of Va Chi.
Hi everyone, this is Kunal Kothari. You're watching me on IWMBuzz, and sitting with me is the team of Pyaar Testing, the actress herself, Plabita Borthakur, and one of the directors, Saptaraj Chakraborty. Hi guys.
Hi Kunal.
Hi. So, I have to start with you, Plabita, first, because I think over the past decade, so to speak, I mean, you've pretty much been there a little more than a decade, but yeah, it's such a fantastic progression when you see, how you start out, and here you are, leading obviously a show and being swamped with constant work. My question is that in this decade that you've had, obviously there must be a lot of learnings. There must be a lot of things that you take back in the good way, in the bad way, and everything. What has been your most, a learning that continues to stay with you and you live by, where even when you're down or even when you're like, okay, this is not working out, but that thing, stays with you? And what is something you cherish the most?
Okay, so yeah, you're right. It has really been like a crazy journey, and lots of ups and downs, and I feel very, very grateful that I have I've got the opportunity to play very different kind of varied characters. The learning is that no matter I have now figured that no matter how many shows or films I've done as a lead, or no matter how great life feels at one point, there will be a low point. And then again there will be a high point. And I think the learning is to just keep going and keep working on yourself, because as an actor, as a freelance actor, and with all of us, I'm sure, actor, director, writer. So it's not like, I'll tell you, when I shot for Lipstick Under My Burqa.
Yep, of course.
I thought, oh, ab matlab main lead mil gayi hai. Now life is sorted. Abhi there'll be like roles and roles. But I shot for it, and then the film was not ready to release. And at first we thought it's never going to release.
Correct.
And then eventually it released in 2017. We shot for it in 2014.
Oh boy.
So 3 years later. And after that, I thought that, oh, now is the time. But it doesn't happen like that. It takes time. So there's always an up and a down and an up and a down. And even today. So I really embrace this about myself.
Right.
That that my career is a part of my life. It's not my life. So when things are not looking great here, I don't have to feel like everything is over. Nothing is great. Because then I have my friends, my family. So I think this whole balance, that is something I really stand by.
Awesome, true. And coming to you, Saptaraj, I mean, we already had a great conversation off screen, but I'll have to come to the show. And, I don't know if it's obviously not advertised to be a remake or anything, and it probably isn't, but it draws some really, really obvious similarities with a Gujarati film called Sharto Lagu, and which itself was a remake of a Marathi film. So I'm sure that probably came around in the brief, or if it not, are you aware about it? And how many parallels were drawn between those two? Because they're obviously very similar stories.
I'll tell you very honestly. So basically, this is an official Hindi remake of Va Chi.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's a Geo Studios film. So when it came to us, it was like that we have a great film with us. We have a great premise. Why don't we expand it and make it in a series?
Sure,
yeah. So of course we just took that major conflict of the conflict of interest, that she is a vegan and he is a hardcore non-veg
Non-vegetarian,
lover.
yeah.
But we have changed the setup is changed, the humor quotients are changed,
Yeah.
the conflict, the major conflict point we have changed, the subplots we have added a lot of layer. So I would like to tell it to the audience
Yeah.
that it is a remake of
Yeah, before people start wondering, ke yaar, ye to
yeah, already there are a lot of
है.
comments. So it's a beautiful film.
Yeah.
And so we just took that idea because it's under the same production.
Right.
And it's Z and this is Z5. So yeah, that's
Awesome,
that's it.
awesome, fabulous. And just to follow up on that, now that we know that it is an official remake on that, as you mentioned, a film, a show, two completely different ball games, right? So much to explore. So you have the entire canvas to you. So what were you cognizant of when it comes to the original? Because वहाँ पे 2 घंटे 2.5 घंटे में कुछ highlight points होंगे, then it sort of encapsulates the entire story. Here you have time, but what were you cognizant of in terms of the humor, the landing of the humor, the cultural differences that you have to come with this? And now that you have the time, what did you change most importantly as a director?
See, of course, the cultural things are totally different. It's a Rajput family, it's a Marathi family. So we have a lot of things which are different. Also, we have developed a sidetrack, some parallel. There's some subplots which are very
Right.
interesting, which we created a drama. So there in this in your series space, you have the leverage to play with the characters. Just develop their arcs.
Correct, yeah.
So that is the only thing. Of course, that was a 2 hours, and it is also a very short series. It's a 21 minutes episode, 7 episodes. So we didn't have to do a lot of changes, but yeah, of course, the setting is changed. The characters, we have bring in a lot of more characters. So I think we are incognizant of the thing that we will keep it. The flavor of the show will be humor, drama, and romance. So
True.
we kept it.
Great, fabulous. Coming back to you, Plabita, again, as I mentioned, you've worked with some really, really great fine directors already, and you see so much and you learn so much from them as well, right? But what has been the biggest change that over the years that you've seen in terms of the process? Because with the advent of OTT and the consistent rise of OTT, there's so much changing in that itself. The process is different. The the continuation of something is different. You take longer periods to shoot and everything. In terms of directors, I purely ask that because there are so many directors out there and have such varied ways of working, right? What has been your most challenging bit in that sense?
Actually, the challenging bit is also the best bit.
Oh, okay.
It's the fact that every director, like every actor, right, has a different way of working. Some directors want you to do exactly what they tell you to do. Some directors want you to come up with what you think might work for the character. And so I feel since every director works very differently, it takes some time to understand, to get in tune
Right.
with each and every director. But also I feel that in these years that I've worked, I have grown a lot, as an artist, because from every director, even if it's a, longer shoot, even if it's a smallish, sked, there is so much to learn. For
Yeah.
me, there is growth because it's like from every shoot, I pick little things that worked for me as an actor, how I can function better, how I can bring out my best. And yet, I know that tomorrow I'll meet yet another director who will help me, understand a little more about
Correct.
what I can do with my
Right.
craft. So I think that is really important. And one thing about me is even though like we did a lot of, even on our set, we did a lot of improv, but I'm a very director's actor. I'm like, I would always ask you both.
Yeah.
Whenever I'll always ask the directors that you're okay, right? What do you want?
Yeah.
Because I feel that a film is a director's baby,
Yeah.
and I can only offer my suggestions,
Right.
and after that it's what the director wants. So I like to basically work like, okay, whatever the director wants, I'm going to deliver that. And I think that also helps me because then I get to learn even more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True. And again, following up on that, did it help that both of you have an Assamese background and there's so much to talk about?
We had so much to talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a lot of things. We'll break down in Assamese every now and
Yeah.
then. And it was really nice because we had both, it was a very it was a fun, duo of directors to work with.
Yeah.
Because both of them, their chemistry, and it's really nice to work with two directors who are so different from each other.
Correct. Yeah.
But are mostly in sync with what they want.
Yeah.
And they have their own way of working. Sometimes I would wonder, कैसे decide करते दोनों, because sometimes Saptaraj will be like, no, I don't think that's working, but Shiva will be like, no, I think this is working. Then sometimes he's like, okay, TK, we'll go with yours, and sometimes Shiva will be like, no. And there were days when we were doing double unit, when a few scenes only Saptaraj directed me and few scenes only Shiva directed me, and so different. So, it was, it was really, really nice.
The idea of, both of you having Assamese background.
So we would often break into conversations.
Break into some conversations, some terminology and stuff like that.
We'll every like in between with the cameras getting set. And generally, both of us, I think, really enjoy talking about different things, childhood, blah blah.
Childhood we
talk a lot about childhood.
Similar childhoods we have.
And it is so fascinating and great, because now it's a constant, that you have, because now it's becoming much more apparent and out there. Have people from Assam coming here and doing wonders. It was always there, but now it's finally happening a lot more than it used to. Fabulous. And then I have a question now. I think I asked this lately to a lot of people who work on OTT, a lot prevalent than as opposed to the big screen. The burst of OTT is real, and it continues to get crazy and crazy, in a good way, in a bad way, both, right? But considering there is a gazillion shows and films out there, like literally you can't even count the number of platforms and the number of shows and films that keep coming every Friday, every day also, for that matter. Of course, you try your best to promote it, do these junkets, do everything. But do you get that fear at all that, you will be lost in the crowd? Because what if, 5 people will see it and not necessarily have the right word of mouth that translates to 500 people? Do you, both of you as creative people, part of a show like this, do you have that fear that we will get lost in the crowd out there?
I think it has its own advantages and disadvantages. Just think about those times where you have limited number of screens, and there are a lot of storytellers out there who wanted to tell their stories, and there was no opportunity, no platform to release.
Right.
So I think we should take the good part of it, and I feel India is huge, huge culture, huge people, and we are subtitling those shows, sending it across 190 countries. Oh, there are a lot of people. I think you find your own audience right there. And now the social media game is on. Everybody has their own group of people. So I think very personally, I feel I'm in the right space right now. Lost, I would have been lost then without telling my stories.
Fair,
yeah, and rather I'm able to make this content. I'm able to tell my stories, and which at least few people will watch it. And if it is a honestly made, lovable show, then it will exactly get the audience. See how there are few shows which
come out of nowhere,
created a mark, and people are loving it, talking about it. And social media is such a beautiful game that people come into a conversation. Somebody Reddit, Twitter, they talk about a film. Then you go and watch those movies, find it out. So I think it's a blessing for us. So I don't think it will get lost in the future. I think you have your story, you have the power of your mind, and then you have the capacity to tell a story beautifully, and there is right audience over there who will watch it and love it.
Fabulous. Anything you'd like to add, Plabita?
See, I think very differently. I don't have this fear because as an actor, I'm very like, okay, my job is to act and do a good job. So when I watch my own work, and if I feel that not about my own work, I'm talking about like when I watch anything that I've worked on, right?
Yeah.
So when I see that it's come together as something nice, and if I enjoy, and I watch like an audience, like I forget it's me. So when I watch like audience, and when I actually enjoy it, I think then I feel very satisfied. After that, for me, it's really like, it doesn't matter if many people have watched it or not. For me, it feels good that that I was part of something that actually turned out to be so nice.
Right.
Yeah, and obviously it's an advantage that if people watch and if people, recommend, it's great. And if I get that love from people, it's obviously something great. But I don't have that fear because I don't think I can. First of all, I don't think I can think so far ahead. So right now, sitting here, I can't imagine about what will happen then,
Fair.
if people will like it or not. I'm just thinking that if I should like the show, I think I should. For me, it's important for myself to be proud of what I was part of.
Fair. No, that's absolutely fair.
Also, I'd
Please.
like to add on that. Just imagine, as a filmmaker, you think of an idea suddenly, you write it, then 100 people come on board, and then you just make it, and it's here.
Yeah.
I think we are
huge.
so
Magical.
blessed.
Yeah.
We are,
And with like everything that you go through on set also,
Yes.
trying to figure out ye nahi mil raha hai, wo nahi ho raha hai.
and then you figure it
Yeah,
out.
with working in time crunch and
Right,
everything,
of
and
course.
when you watch it and you think about all those moments and how you manage to pull it off, I think that's magical.
So I think as a storyteller, I think we should rejoice this moment that
True.
the shows are coming. People are watching your shows. People are watching art which you have done.
Yes.
I think we're blessed.
I love the take, honestly. It's such an innocent take to have amidst all the noise, otherwise the sound.
Yeah.
Fabulous.
Thank you.